Before we get to this episode, I want to ask you a quick question. Are you a woman who's 50 or older? And are you ready for a career or job change? Maybe you're yearning to do more meaningful work that really lights you up. I'm asking because my friends Dana and Wendy of Camp Reinvention have the coolest career program. It's called the Career Change Accelerator Program, and they coach amazing women in a 12-week program to reimagine what their careers might look like and to help them see new possibilities. Their very cool program is kicking off on October 27th, and if you even have an inkling, I might be ready for something new and different, I invite you to check out the details. There's a link in the show notes, and let's get busy and think about new possibilities. You know how society often has a limited narrative about older women and what we can do? Not here. These fierce women are flipping the script and eagerly embracing a second or third act with unabashed joy. They are going for it and not waiting until someday or someone to tell them it's okay. Today is their someday. They give themselves permission to shine. Let their inner glow out in the world. These women are lighting the world on fire, each in their own unique way. Welcome to Reinvention Rebels. Stories of brave and unapologetic women, 50 to 90 years young, who have boldly reimagined life on their own terms to find new purpose and possibilities. I'm your host, Wendy Battles. Ready for a dose of inspiration? Let's get to it. Hey, Reinvention Rebels. Welcome to the final episode of season 3. Can you believe it? I'm your host, Wendy. I'm so excited you're here, and thank you for joining me on this Reinvention Rebels ride for another season of extraordinary women up to amazing things in the world and helping others see what's possible as we age, which, of course, is anything. If you're new to the Reinvention Rebels podcast, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me and the amazing, brave, kick-ass, courageous women that I have the honor of interviewing. What are Reinvention Rebels, you may ask? They are bold women between 50 and 90 who have reinvented themselves to find new purpose and possibilities in life. Women with big dreams and a limitless mindset for what they can create. Women who believe that age, wisdom, and stepping into their authentic selves is a delicious, empowering journey of self-discovery. You know how society often has a limited narrative about older women and what we can do? Not here. These fierce women are flipping the script and eagerly embracing a second or third act with unabashed joy. They are going for it and not waiting until someday or someone to tell them it's okay. Today is their someday. They give themselves permission to shine. Let their inner glow out in the world. These women are lighting the world on fire, each in their own unique way. If you're looking for some inspiration to consider what's possible in your life, or you just like to hear uplifting stories, you've come to the right place. I've loved every moment, every episode, every guest. People often ask me, Wendy, which episode is your favorite? And honestly, it's impossible to choose. Each guest is unique. Each woman has a special journey all her own. I just know that they can move mountains with their curiosity, courage, and commitment to themselves. I love that they're putting themselves first, often after years of prioritizing others. I love their joy and how they're shining their light in the world. We so need more uplifting, inspiring stories, especially these days, and they bring it. Honestly, these women are nothing short of extraordinary. And you know what? This season has been simply fabulous. I'm grateful to the women I had that opportunity to be in conversation with, and to all of you for being amazing listeners, cheerleaders, and advocates for these fierce reinvention rebels, for sharing their stories with others in need of inspiration. This episode, it's a walk down memory lane. It's also a great place to start if you're new to the podcast. You can lean in, listen, and soak up some of the wisdom these rebels shared. Then you can pop over and listen to the full episodes and fill up your inspiration tank to fuel your next reinvention. So thank you for listening, for being amazing Reinvention Rebels fans, for sharing these episodes with the women and men in your life, for cheering these extraordinary women on and seeing a part of yourself in their stories. We all have an inner reinvention rebel. Sharing these stories helps each of us to coax her out and step into our own greatness. Ready for a walk down memory lane? I'll share a few highlights about each episode, and I've linked to each one in the show notes. So I'm making it super simple to listen to each of these amazing women, either for the first time or because you just couldn't get enough. And if you're a regular, can't get enough of this podcast listener, how fun is it to walk down memory lane with me as I highlight each of my guests and their inspiring reinvention stories? But first, let me take a moment to share my why. I started this podcast in 2020 because I was called to. I literally heard Reinvention Rebels in a tiny whisper one day when I was meditating. I had one simple goal: to celebrate, illuminate, and elevate midlife and older women. Little did I know when I started the podcast just how inspiring and powerful my guests would be. I had a bit of a hunch, given that many of my first guests were friends, and I knew just how fabulous they are. But to find so many women I didn't know, women who reached out to me or I found on social media, women who were recommended to me by other women who I had random thoughts about and found out were Reinvention Rebels. I guess that was my inner wisdom talking to me. There have been so many ways that I've uncovered these women, and I can't thank you enough for your suggestions that have led me here. There are oodles of midlife and older women with empowering stories to tell. The challenge now is enough time to share all their amazing stories. Needless to say, there will be more coming in season 4. In the meantime, sit back and take a listen to some of the best moments from season 3. And when you're done, please share with a friend or two to get them inspired too. This is definitely a not to be missed episode. And if I can inspire even a few women to stretch more, question more, explore more, and take a step out of their comfort zone into something new, no matter how big or small, then I feel like my job is done and I'm doing what I'm meant to do. So let's get this Reinvention Rebels Season 3 highlight show on the road. Episode 1 kicked off in January with 62-year-young Michelle St. Jane. I met Michelle through Twitter, where she reached out to me to tell me how much she loved the podcast. And then I learned about how cool she is and the amazing things she's done to uplift women. I learned how she's leaned into curiosity to see new possibilities in her own life to be of service to others.
Turning 40 was fine with me, but turning 50, I had this sudden overwhelming feeling of mortality. So what did I do? I started a PhD. I mean, I could have taken a path down a dark road, or I could take a path, on an adventure and be curious. And I can tell you it was touch and go whether I was going to go to dark or go to light. And I share that here because it's important to know that no matter how successful or how people show up, we're all very vulnerable. So sharing our experiences, our journeys, and our choices allows people to imagine what is possible for them.
This fierce and fearless reinvention rebel has reimagined what it looks like to start fresh in her 50s and 60s while helping to make the world a better place. Episode 2 featured my girl, Tracy Momey. I love me some Tracy. I love her energy, her joy, and the endless possibilities she's created for herself and others. I love how she's cultivated connection and community in a time when people feel disconnected. Tracy curates The Face of 50, a page on Instagram that shines a light on women 50 plus. This author and creative has given herself permission to step into who she's meant to be.
And I'm like, what am I waiting for? Who am I seeking permission from? And so it was more about thinking, okay, if I have 20 years left in my life, if I have 30 years, how many ever years I have left, because none of us know, how much time we actually have. I want to start doing things that make me happy. I want to start doing things to leave a mark, leave a legacy. And from that point, it was like I had to get out of the mindset of people pleasing or, making other people comfortable, and things like that. Because a lot of people, when you do things like that, people, they aren't comfortable anymore with who you are. We stay in this box to make other people comfortable, and it's like, you're going to get uncomfortable because I'm getting out of the box.
She's uplifting, right? I think we all need more Tracys in our lives to inspire us and remind us that we can do anything. And at 50, we're just getting started. I love sharing my solo episodes, and that's what I did in episode 3, because I love sharing my thoughts on specific topics related to reinvention. One of my favorite topics so far has been about what happens when we learn to let go. Let me tell you a story about 2 dreams I've had over the years and the difference when I tried to make something happen versus when I took my intention, nurtured my desire, and stepped back to let it grow in an organic way. And then we'll talk about a few things I believe to be crucial to the notion of letting go to support your reinvention dreams. I have a secret sauce, my winning combination for learning to let go that I share. There are 3 key ingredients, and you can learn about what they are when you listen to the full episode. The truth is, when we learn to let go and trust that things are unfolding in just the right way, it makes a huge difference in our reinvention journey. In fact, it's part of the puzzle to becoming a reinvention rebel. Can you imagine thinking of yourself as non-athletic your whole life, then taking up running at 55? And then can you imagine reinventing yourself as a global marathoner, going strong at 71 and in the best shape of your life ever? That's the compelling reinvention story of Mary Newell. She is amazing.
I started running, and then all of a sudden I started noticing my clothes were a little bit looser. So this thing that I had been fighting from at least puberty on, the weight thing took care of itself, by me following my passion and protecting that. I didn't have to worry about weight. I only weigh myself when I go to the doctor's office. I don't have a scale. I haven't had a scale in years, and I'm in the best shape talking about my body, and at 71, I am so strong and so fit. And, the confidence that I have as I move, as I run, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Doesn't this make you think about what could be possible in your own life? That you could continue to get stronger, not weaker, as you age? I don't know about you, but I want Mary's attitude and approach to life. Mary's episode is so empowering, so full of possibilities. I have a hunch you'll soak it up with reckless abandon, as much as I did. Are you being kind enough to yourself? Do you offer yourself self-compassion on a regular basis, as in it's a habit? Dr. Ellen Albertson, author of Rock Your Midlife, joined me for episode 5 to share about how she uses self-compassion as her superpower to navigate this thing called midlife.
As I started to love myself, as I started to treat myself with kindness rather than criticism, everything shifted. I started to do more of the things that lit me up. I started to, not do things that insulted my soul. I started questioning relationships that weren't working and being kinder to myself, doing what I needed for myself to feel supported so that I could do more things in the world. And that really led me in a whole new direction. Self-compassion shifted my trajectory, 180 degrees, turned things completely around.
Did you know that self-compassion manifests in different ways? Offering ourselves grace is a powerful elixir to soothe our midlife souls and bodies. Lean in and listen to the full episode to hear more about the power of self-compassion to help light our reinvention path. What would be possible if you weren't afraid to try? I imagine almost anything. Your attempts might be imperfect, but so what? That's the spirit of the amazing Leah Lane, who graced me with her presence in the Reinvention Rebels guest chair for episode 6. I love Leah's story. I love how this award-winning travel writer started her podcast at 79. What?
I sort of could do this a little, I think. But then I said to myself, but you're so old. My goodness, you're probably the oldest podcaster there is. And I thought, should I really start this? And then my son said, absolutely, just go for it. He's always been, pushing me a little bit and saying, you like trends. You're on trend usually. And my 2 sons really were very supportive. And my husband was very supportive. And I said, I'm going to do it. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, as you know. And it might not have worked, but I was not afraid to try.
Doesn't it feel like if Leah can start a podcast at 79, that there are no limits in your own life? Lean in and listen to the full episode and soak up Leah's wisdom and passion for late in life reinvention. She is so inspiring. Episode 7 was about how to build your reinvention dream team. Ever notice what happens when we let others in on our dreams? That when we choose to embrace support and stop trying to go it alone, it can be easier and more fun? Why struggle when we can invite in help? Our dream team gets to share in our joy too. I've learned so many important lessons through my reinvention experiences. As always, there's that 2020 hindsight thing going on. I wish I'd known so many of these things before, yet they were important lessons I needed to learn along the way. In addition to understanding that I can go further and be better with the support of others, I've also learned that people have our backs. So many people want to help us. I've learned so many powerful lessons about how to grow, and it starts with creating my own cheering section. People who want to see me shine as much as I want to. It's powerful and affirming to assemble a dream team. Lean in and listen to this episode to learn about the power of others to help you realize your reinvention dreams with more ease. Believe me, it's easier than you think. I'm not going to lie. When people ask me about my favorite Reinvention Rebels episode, it's definitely the one with my mom. It was so special to be in conversation with her. Her wisdom, her grace, her experiences, how she's reinvented herself multiple times over her 89 years. What's one thing that someone who's dipping their toe in, not sure where to start, what's one thing they could do?
Well, first of all, you have to know yourself and what your interests are. And so once you define what your interests are, then going out and looking for opportunities, not to wait for them to come to you. You have to really be proactive and pursue those because it can be really fulfilling in all ways in your life. So I would say, don't be afraid to take chances. It may be something that's a little bit challenging, but rise to the challenge, because there's just so much out there. I mean, there's so many ways in which you can be involved. So you start small and then just grow from there.
Possibility dwells in all of us, no matter our age. Her curiosity and how she stays connected inspire me about what's possible when I'm in my 80s. If you missed this episode earlier in the season, take a listen now. It's so very good. I know I'm a bit biased, but based on the feedback I've gotten from others, I know you're going to love this very sweet, touching conversation. My friend Ellen is so amazing, so full of joy and possibilities. And oh my gosh, is she fun? So fun that she and her business partner started a company based on fun, as in comedy improv kind of fun.
I think that we take our cues from the world of improvisation. Follow your feet, which in improv just means take the next little step. Trust yourself enough to step out, get off of the back line, which is where you see the improvisers are standing off to the side, waiting to insert themselves into the conversation. Follow your feet and get off the back line. Just start something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be for anyone but yourself. And it has to be of your choosing. For you.
Ellen is wise, funny, engaging, and so full of life. She reminds me that we can reinvent just about anything, including entrepreneurship. While some couldn't imagine starting something new and big in their 60s, I love how Ellen has embraced this idea fully and has amazing results to show for it. This episode is all about going for it and finding immense joy along the reinvention journey. When we lean into our lives, almost anything is possible. Ever met someone so full of joy that they can't help but fill up your cup too? That's Franzi Jean-Louis, my special guest on episode 10. I love that she was an opera singer, and I love how she took a challenging career that drove her to be a perfectionist and reinvented herself in expansive, self-affirming ways. At 50, she's living on purpose and helping others find their inner magic to shine brightly.
I have a deep sense that I was made to do this. Yes. And I will do other things. Like I love writing. Being a published author is fabulous to me. I love singing, but it has to have a sense of purpose. And that purpose is to engage with others. It's not to sing for myself in my shower. It's to sing so that souls are rejoicing and uplifted. And it sounds kind of maybe cheesy, but that's what it is. And when you're teaching, you're uplifting souls. And when you're coaching, you're uplifting souls. And for me, my soul is my sole purpose.
She's simply amazing and so inspiring. Her insights and how she's living the life she wants to lead, makes me see we can all have our own reimagining on our own terms. Did you listen to the powerful story of Jill Carlisle? Against all odds, at 43, she got her GED despite all the people in her life telling her, why bother? Or, you can't do that. But she did. And that was just the start of her reimagined, fierce life. She's gone on to get multiple degrees, become a professor, and now at 52, write a best-selling memoir, Finding 50.
I learned how to forgive myself. I learned how to forgive others. And I learned how to show myself grace. And thinking of the many iterations of the book, and the hours I spent in front of the computer or in front of, with my journal writing, it was just it was cathartic, but it was, I just got to learn who I was. And it was really a beautiful process all the way around, even though it was the most difficult thing I've ever done ever in my life.
I love Jill's story. I love her resilience. I love that she's forged her own path on her terms. A reminder that we can all find our groove in our own time, in our own way. What a season of extraordinary women doing amazing things. Each an inspiring reinvention rebel, lighting up the world with their passion, curiosity, determination, and fire. How can we not be motivated to think of our own lives when we hear their stories? How can we not want to get more curious about what could be possible for us? How could we not want to lean in a bit more? Our reinventions may not look at all like theirs, but don't you love that we can carve our own unique path like none other? That there's a reinvention waiting for us. We just have to lean in, listen, and discover what it is. May these stories embolden you to think a little bigger in your own life and see what ideas bubble up. And then just get started. Dip your toe in. Try something new. Be open to new possibilities and see where it leads. I have a hunch you won't be disappointed. Even better, I bet you'll be inspired by what you can do, be, and achieve as you age. And there you have it, a little taste of season 3 and these fierce reinvention rebels. So much inspiration to get you thinking about your own life. I believe there's nothing you can't do as you age if you have the desire, whether you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond. As evidenced by the clips you heard, possibility always exists to learn, grow, and shine. To love your life at any age. To kick limiting narratives of aging women to the curb. To step into the light and shine like never before. Seriously, aging is pretty awesome. All those people who talk about it's terrible, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm embracing it with open arms and reveling in all the things I can do, and I hope you will too. Season 3 is a wrap. Season 4 is on the horizon. I'll be on hiatus for a bit, enjoying some of the summer and planning for season 4. But inspiration is never far away, Reinvention Rebels. Just dial up an episode whenever you need a little reinvention pick-me-up. I can't wait to return with a new season of amazing women and insights about how we can rock midlife, find our inner reinvention rebel, and shine like never before. We've so got this. Until next season, keep shining your light. The world needs you and all that you have to offer. Hey, Rebel. If this episode inspired you to think about what's possible in your life, I'll share a little secret. Any of us can reinvent ourselves no matter where we are in our lives, any age, any stage. We just have to decide to get started. Here's a super simple way for you to get going with your reinvention dreams. Download my audio, 5 questions to spark your curiosity and inspire your reinvention journey. I share 5 key questions that will spur your thinking, help you uncover your dreams, and motivate you to take action. Because if not now, when? Details in the show notes. Let's get inspired together.